welcome back to another video. Today we're hitting back and arms, and as you just saw, my first exercise was a barbell row. I haven't done heavy barbell rows in a minute, so yeah, I've been meaning to do them again. I've built my back off of barbell rows low-key. They're just a staple compound lift. I love to start out my back day with them. That's the first exercise of the day, and we're probably gonna move on to probably like a chest supported dumbbell row or something like that. This is one of those movements, the movement I just did, that dumbbell chest supported row is one of those movements where, I mean, with any back movement, you want to be pulling through your elbows. And I know I've said that before, but it's so important. Like, I feel like once I figured out how to pull through my elbows, I unlocked a whole different like dimension of my muscle connection in my back. Think of your hands as like hooks almost. And you're just pulling through your elbow to feel it in your back more. One thing that helps a lot too is instead of gripping thumb over like this, I switched to a thumbless grip. Thumbless grip helps a little bit because if you think of like a hook, you're not going to be thumb over. Thumbless kind of looks more like a hook. So you can kind of pull through your elbows a little bit better and feel it more in your back. All right, so I almost always finish off my back day with a lat pullover. It's just a great movement that I like a lot in the slightly higher rep range. So that's what I'm doing today as well. Just a great movement overall.
And all I am is a man. I want the world in my hands. I hate the beach, but I stand in California with my toes in the sand. Use the sleeves of my sweater. Let's have an adventure. Head in the clouds, but my gravity centered. Touch my neck, and I'll touch yours. You and those little high-waisted shorts. Oh, she knows what I think about, and what I think about. One love, two mouths. One love, one house. No shirt, no blouse, just eyes. You find out.
Right now I'm about to run the incline jam press on the Smith. I've almost always used to do just the flat Smith jam press, but recently I've been experimenting with incline to see like if I like it more or not. But the first couple times I have enjoyed it a lot more. From what I know now, I like it a little bit more, but we'll see what happens. I gotta run it for a little bit more before I establish, you know, if I actually like it more than flat or not. But I will say, the incline Smith has been feeling really good, and I like it a lot, so I'm gonna continue to run it for sure. And also, I wanted to say, when I hit arms, so right now, obviously I'm transitioning to the arm portion of the lift, I almost always will, you know, for the compound, like for the tricep compound movement and the bicep compound movement, I'll run them separately, and then I'll do 2 movements on biceps and 2 movements on triceps. So for that second movement, I'll superset the 2. The first movement, I just hit each movement separately, and then I superset at the end to kind of push the intensity, and it saves a little bit of time too, so that's a bonus. Alright, so today's topic of discussion. Alright, so it's a few days after that lift. Honestly, maybe a little bit more than a few days. Today, we have a couple topics of discussion. I'm going to start off with one that was recently brought up, and I know I've touched on. I'm simply just going to define what progressive overload is and how to implement it to gain strength and muscle. Progressive overload is gradually increasing the stimuli that you give any given muscle group over an extended period of time. I'm going to give an example to explain it a little bit more. Let's say that you can do the 60-pound dumbbells on an incline dumbbell press, right? And you can get them for 6 reps. 6 is your maximum. You can't do any more than 6 reps. That's like your limit. A lot of times the rep range I'll assign is 6 to 8 reps, which I like that rep range a lot, like for your mass movement. Week 1, you just, do those 60s, train your ass off, get 60s for 6 reps. And then on the second lift of the week, you'll probably get 6 reps again. You might attempt the 7th rep. Who knows? But as long as you're like pushing yourself, that's what's important. Week after, it could even be 2 weeks, maybe the next week. It just depends. It's different for everyone. But one of these days, you'll get that same rep or that same weight for maybe 7 reps, and then eventually 8 reps. And then once you get to the upper limit of that rep range, once you're able to easily hit 8 reps every time, then and only then, that is when you up the weight. So let's say you grab the 65s instead of the 60s. And chances are you'll probably do them for 6 reps. Maybe less, maybe a little bit more. But essentially, the cycle will just repeat at that point. So you do the 65s for 6 reps. A couple weeks go by, you're able to get it for 8 reps. Then you go to the 70s, and then the 75s, and then the 80s. And that's basically the process of how you get stronger over time using progressive overload. You'll get stronger like that. You also build muscle like that. It's just a staple. It's a big factor in resistance training. My next topic is kind of a 180, but I also like to talk about, like, I don't know if philosophical is the way to define it, but topics that encourage like deeper thought. So this one of the day it's about courage, and having courage, and also kind of courage versus bravery. So first off, I'm going to define like what bravery is and what courage is. So bravery is acting without fear, doing something challenging, but it typically doesn't involve fear. It's kind of an impulse, which is good. They're both great characteristics. But courage is more so about undergoing challenging instances despite fear, despite being fearful. And I think I'm going to kind of highlight courage, I think, more today. So, funny story, I actually wrote notes, like I took notes on this topic, and I may or may not have forgotten the notes, so I'm just going off the dome right now. But I took the notes, so like I should know the topic pretty well, right? Like I should be able to talk about it pretty well. So that's what we're going to do. Your goals should scare you. Your goals should be, you should be fearful of like when you think of your goals, in my opinion, again, all of this is my take on it, my opinion. Of course, like it's not, I just like to share what I think and kind of encourage discussion. So yeah, that's why I'm talking about stuff like this. But when you think of your goals, right, if you're a little bit fearful, if you're a little bit scared of it, I believe that shows significance. It shows significance, and it shows that it's going to be challenging, right? It's going to be very challenging and hard to accomplish, which in turn signals that you'll become a better, stronger person on the other side of that. In theory, your goals would be you'd be pretty fearful of your goals. You're like, holy shit, I have to do blank, blank, and blank. That's going to be difficult. And to go out and do that, regardless of being scared or being fearful of it, that's courage. And that's important, in my opinion, because that is what's going to take you that is what is going to merge you into a better person, a stronger person, the person that you want to become, the best version of yourself. It's all right to be fearful, but do it scared. Do it anyways. Because you don't really know what's going to happen unless you try. And you can also keep trying. Like, you try and fail, so what? Like, try again. If you keep trying, like, you're bound to succeed. A lot of it all kind of ties together, you know? They're separate topics, but they all tie together. Courage versus bravery and progressive overload. That's the talk of the day. All right. Okay, that's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.